So you order it at the restaurant, you buy it at the store. Today we bring the art of the cheesecake to your own home kitchen. Lori Vaughn joins me from her kitchen to teach us her tips for making the perfect cheesecake. Now, I pressed a producer and said, perfect. Do we really want to say perfect? Perfect cheesecake?
You can say it. Say it.
Okay. What do you think makes the perfect cheesecake? Lori, define it for us.
We all want that cheesecake that's perfectly smooth and decadent, but that's also visually appealing, right? And there's really just a few simple tips that you can apply to any cheesecake recipe you have to make that happen.
All right, I am all ears. This is my husband Mark's annual request every year for his birthday.
There we go.
And cover your ears because I do Costco every year. But maybe after this year with your helpful
You'll
tips
change your mind.
and encouragement, yeah, I might be able to do it. So let's start with the batter. You say there's a mixing tip to not overlook.
Yeah, here's there's just a few key tips, and obviously we start with this one. A big difference is starting with room temperature ingredients. So as long as you start with room temperature ingredients, that cream cheese, sugar, eggs, heavy whipping cream, get it all to room temp. It helps it mix together a lot better, not any lumpy batter, baked evenly.
Okay.
And then just not over mixing it. If we over mix it, we put too much air in the batter, it can deflate. But you have a lot of wiggle room there. So room temperature ingredients, just an easy mix and super easy batter, good to go.
And you're working with just a basic cheesecake recipe.
Yep. So this is a chocolate cheesecake recipe, a new recipe that's coming to my website this month. But again, you can use these principles with any cheesecake.
Okay. All right. What do you have going next?
So here is a super easy crust. I've just chosen to pair it with an Oreo crust, but you can obviously use any crust, like a chocolate shortbread crust, anything like that, chocolate cookies. And here's just a little tip of how easy I put together my crust. I just ground up some Oreos in my food processor, and I put it in a Ziploc bag because it's so much easier to mix, and then it's mess-free. I zip it up, and then I just mix together in the bag.
Okay, guess what? I just made a chocolate pie over the weekend for Mother's Day. I did the Ziploc for the graham crackers, but then I poured it in a bowl. Why did I do that? Just put the butter right in the bag. Good job.
Right.
You saved us a step.
This is your bowl. This is your bowl. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then we have our crust. We have our batter, right? We're ready to go. So the next big part of a great cheesecake is the kind of pan that you're using. You're probably familiar with a springform pan.
Yeah.
It gives it that nice, easy release.
How are you prepping the pan, Lori?
I like to put a piece of parchment paper in the bottom just as an extra nonstick, and I'll show you why at the end when I show you how to get it out. There's like those pre-cut parchment rounds, right? Or don't feel like you need to buy those either. Just take a normal piece of parchment, put your pan on it, and then just trace it. And then you can cut it out with a circle from what you traced.
Sure.
Super easy, inexpensive. So put a piece of parchment in the bottom, and then you just kind of dump and press. One trick to kind of get the crust in there nicely and flat is using a small measuring cup. You know how that crust is like perfectly even on the bottom and the sides at the restaurant?
And you see that, you want to see that perfect layer. Here, there's the word again, perfect. But you want to see the layer from the side nice and even.
Exactly. And so the measuring cup will help you press it in nice and evenly, as opposed to using your hands that are bumpy, right? So use your hands a little bit to get it around, and then finish off with a measuring cup to get that nice crisp round.
Nice, nice. All right, baking instructions, give it to us.
Yeah, so super easy. One last step in prepping your pan. I feel like this is the most important tip in a make or break of a cheesecake, and that's by giving it a water bath. This is where you notice a huge difference between those cheesecakes that kind of crack or sink in the middle and those cheesecakes that are nice and flat. So I like to do this by putting a piece of aluminum foil around the edge of the pan. You could also use a crock pot liner bag. And then we're going to put it in a pan that's obviously bigger than this pan. So you'll cook your crust, pour in your batter. I'm going to cook mine, so I won't pour in my batter yet. But cook your crust, pour in your batter. Put it in a pan that's bigger, and then just take your hottest tap water. And you're gonna pour it in the pan, and see how your pan is in a little bath now.
I made a cheesecake back in home ec, and I never did this step. Is this a make or break?
This is a make or break. I feel like for those cracks versus no cracks. If you do get the cracks, cover it with chocolate shavings or ganache or something like that. They're easy to hide. But if you are going for that crisp flat cheesecake, this is what's gonna save you.
And you bake it in that water bath.
And you bake it. So so I put the water level about a third of the way to a half a way up. And this is what I'm going to stick in my oven.
Okay. I've got about a minute left. Any tips for taking it out of the pan? I feel like we are on our way to a perfect cheesecake. You're doing awesome.
There
Thank
we go.
you.
So, so how do you get it out of this round? This is a smaller round. So the springform pan will help with that, right? It's going to give it that nice, easy release.
There it is.
And you can serve it on the pan, but if you want to transfer it to a cake stand and you don't want, your cheesecake pan on the bottom, take a board or a plate, put it on top, do a flip, and that will come right off.
Look how
peel
clean
your
that
parchment
is.
off.
Yes.
Yep, just peel your parchment off. That's what helps it get it off the pan. And then you can just flip it right back on your stand.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Lori,
see how
well
flat that
done.
Is?
All right.
There we go.
It seems as if you've made a few cheesecakes in your day. What's your favorite flavor combination?
We love our cheesecakes. I have a recipe for a copycat of a Cheesecake Factory, copycat for an Oreo, their Oreo Dream Extreme, a white chocolate raspberry. I'm really excited about this new chocolate one.
All right, there goes
came
lunch.
out with a lemon one. So good.
We just want dessert,
we love
Lori.
Cheesecake.
Tell us where to get those recipes you mentioned.
Yep. So I have an Instagram handle with a lot of tips, Lowe's Kitchen Co. And then all my recipes are on my website, loweskitchenco.com.
Okay. I feel prepared. I'm going to take it on
Perfect
August
cheesecake.
2nd. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We'll link you to Lowe's Kitchen Co. website from ours, studio5.ksl.com. You'll find her social media links there as well, and hundreds, thousands really of recipes at your fingertips.